Welcome to effed up entitled people, where OP's entitled cousin and his daughter ruins his expensive doll collection. This story was from Reddit user Listen Sweet. Entitled cousin thinks his daughter needs to play with my collector dolls. Entitled cousin and I are close, and I love him dearly. But he spoils his daughter rotten and lets her do whatever she wants ever since he got divorced. As a result, she's kind of a brat. I collect Disney Store dolls, and every time they come over, his daughter sneaks into my room and plays with my dolls. I didn't want to say anything, but she plays roughly with my dolls and has messed up a hair on a few, and broken a leg off of one. So I bought some other dolls and gave them for her to play with so she didn't grab any of mine. I did some research, guys. I initially thought, how expensive can a doll be, right? In my mind, they're just dolls after all. However, it turns out they're like figurines, which can cost up to thousands of dollars as well. Recently, I bought a limited edition doll. They are expensive and a collector's item. To those who are wondering, by the way, I asked OP which doll it was, and it told me it was this doll in question. It's a limited edition doll apparently, and it's still in stock, so it only costs only only costs 130 US dollars. I'm guessing once they run out of stock, prices will most likely start climbing. Like how Pokemon cards are these days. I placed the limited edition doll high up on the shelf and always closed the door to where I store the dolls because it was common for Entitled Cousin and his daughter to come over with no notice. Yesterday, Entitled Cousin and his kid came over, and his daughter went straight to where I stored my dolls. She saw the limited edition doll and wanted to play with it, and attempted to climb the shelf. OP goes, "Oh no, hon, don't do that. You'll get yourself hurt." "But I wanna play with that doll," points to limited edition doll. "Oh, sorry, dear, but you can't play with that doll. It's very expensive and she isn't meant to be played with." Entitled Cousin jumps in. "Are you serious? It's a doll. It's a kid's plaything." "Look, it's fine if she plays with the other dolls. I don't care. She can't play with that one. It's a limited edition doll, and it's a collector's item." "Daddy, I want that doll." At this point, she was about to throw a tantrum. "I'm sorry, but hey, why don't you play with the other dolls I gave you? You're much better than that doll." "No, it isn't. I want it now." Ugh. "Always with your toys, cuz. Let her play with it. She's not gonna mess it up." At this point, OP is now getting angry with Entitled Cousin. He says, "She can play with any other doll except that one. Please respect that." Entitled Cousin's daughter begins throwing a temper tantrum at this point because I was the only other person besides her mom to utter the awful, horrid, disgraceful word of no. Entitled Cousin says, "I'll get it myself then. All my daughter wants is to play with a toy." I tried to stop Entitled Cousin, but once he put his weight on the shelf, it fell. A mess of dolls was on the floor. At this point, I was pissed. I grabbed the limited edition doll before his daughter could, and told him to leave. Entitled Cousin just rolled his eyes at me and said I was immature and left, slamming the door. My aunt, mom of Entitled Cousin, came over to help me pick and set everything up again, and she apologized for her son's behavior. I told her it wasn't her fault, and I took her to a nice restaurant as thanks. Over dinner, she told me that this wasn't the first time Entitled Cousin had done this. His daughter broke a vase, which was important to my grandfather, and Entitled Cousin blamed grandfather for not putting it somewhere safe just a week ago. Yeah, just keep blaming everyone else but your daughter. Haven't heard from Entitled Cousin since the incident, and I honestly hope I don't for a while. Edit. Thank you all so much for your feedback and support. Unfortunately, while I was inspecting all my dolls, some of them were damaged. Not to mention the shelf wasn't sturdy either. The weight and fall affected it. I sent Entitled Cousin links to all of the dolls he and his daughter damaged, plus a new shelf, and explained to him that he's going to replace all the things he has damaged. Haven't gotten a reply yet, but I will update if I do. Okay guys, at this point I haven't read the update yet, but from what I read so far, I bet his Entitled Cousin probably won't get back to him anytime soon. Maybe he'll start ignoring OP just to avoid paying him back. Let's see. 8 days later, OP posts an update. Update on Entitled Cousin who thought his daughter needed to play with my collector dolls. This situation has been rather messy to say the least. First off, I wanted to thank you all for your support and advice. It was greatly appreciated. Some of you suggested I tell him to pay for the dolls his daughter damaged, and I did so. I can't post images on this sub, so I'll transcribe it here. OP. Hey, entitled cousin, you and your daughter damaged some of my dolls and even my shelf. I'm gonna need you to pay for the damaged items. I sent him links. Disney Store dolls are not cheap, especially the Prince dolls, which are hard to come by. And those were among the ones he damaged. Alright, I just had to pause it here. I just checked the Prince dolls, and he's right, they do cost much more. Here's Prince Erik at 830 USD, and here's Prince Charming. Yep, you read that right. That's $2,500 right there for this platinum doll set. I mean, it's a set item, so I guess you could split the cost in half, maybe 250 for Prince Charming. That's still a lot though. I think the prices are dictated by how much Disney makes of these, because I read that some they only make 1,500 of these dolls, and some even just in a batch of 600. And those are the ones that cost up to 2,500. And who knows, maybe even more. I'm not really familiar with the doll scene. And of course, here's Aladdin at 300 USD from a batch of 3,500. It's alright, Aladdin. One day you'll get there too. Now, judging from all the price tag of these dolls, OP's shelf could have easily cost tens of thousands of dollars. Entitled cousin, are you kidding? I don't have that kind of money for your little doll collection. This wouldn't have happened in the first place if you just let my daughter play with one of your dolls among the dozens you have. OP. This wouldn't have happened if you didn't raise your daughter to be so entitled. I get it, divorce is hard for any kid, but giving her everything she wants isn't gonna help. Try therapy. You think you can tell me how to raise my kid? Go ahead and F yourself. Don't tell me how to parent, and I'm not paying for your stupid effing toys. OP replies, Entitled cousin, I will take this to small claims court if I have to. Pay what you damaged, it's easier. And sorry to break it to you, but I think if I need to tell you what to do to raise your kid, your daughter has become a problem for the family. I was boiling angry at this point, and entitled cousin didn't reply for a while. Then I heard a knock at my door, and checked the peephole, and I saw a very pissed off entitled cousin. He was pounding on the door and said if I had a problem with his little girl, I need to say it to his face. He then began to try to open the door and screamed obscenities at me. Got scared at this point, but luckily my older brother who I lived with pulled into the driveway, and with a threat of calling the police and a baseball bat, entitled cousin left. I told entitled cousin's mom, who's my aunt, about this, and she wanted to set up an intervention. She didn't want her son acting like this and didn't raise him to be so violent and to be such an entitled parent, she told me. Anyway, just yesterday, Aunt, my older brother, and entitled cousin's ex-wife invited him to my aunt's house to settle this. Shortened story of the showdown that went down. Aunt started by saying she expected better of him, and his ex-wife said that giving their daughter everything she wants is not healthy. She was going to have some serious issues with men growing up if a lot of women in her life said no and her dad said yes. Honestly, at this point, his ex-wife should have custody instead. What do you guys think? A screaming match between entitled cousin and his ex-wife ensued after he said that, but his aunt managed to calm them down. I told entitled cousin all I wanted was for him to pay the damages he's done or I take it to court. After a lot of convincing from my aunt, he did replace all the dolls and the shelf he damaged. I've had enough of entitled cousin's bullcrap at this point, and I got what I needed, so my brother and I left. His ex-wife told me that it was all just a big argument from there and that she wanted to try to get custody of their daughter after I told her that he tried to get into my house. Didn't I just say that? She said that he was prone to violent outbursts, but didn't have any evidence when the divorce came. Lucky for her, I have outdoor cameras as I do order expensive dolls and porch pirates are common where we live. And I have footage of entitled cousin trying to get into my house. I gave her the footage and if I needed to testify in court, I would. I've decided I don't want a relationship with entitled cousin anymore, especially after all of this. For now, I'm just setting up my new shelf. I wonder how much entitled cousin had to compensate OP for. I hope it's a lot. Also, I didn't know dolls could cost that much. I'm familiar with figures costing that much, like action figures, but not dolls. Dolls for me are just baby toys. But I'm wrong. Again, you learn something new every day. Anyways, that's gonna be it for me, guys. If you have a story of your own, again, you can send it at iveeffedup@gmail.com. Links to the original post are also down in the description below. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye!